Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Glare, again, can't do anything about it. The window light just doesn't go down. How is everyone doing today? I know here it is a relatively cold day. It's not like freezing. We don't have snow yet. We're Canada, but it doesn't snow that early. But today it's just got that bite in the air. And I was thinking, soups are always a great way to warm up, and they're always so comforting. And with Thanksgiving, well, for Canadians, just a couple of weeks away, and for Americans, not that much further, I thought I would do one of my favorite soups that I'm asked to do every year for Thanksgiving. It's a really easy soup. It does have a few steps. It's nothing hard. And what we have is basically a butternut squash soup, but with a little bit of an Asian twist to it. So you'll see what I mean as we go along. First of all, of course, being a butternut squash soup, well, we need a butternut squash. These things are notoriously hard to cut. A good sharp knife always comes in handy, and I find by doing it, just going to try and adjust this a little bit more. There we go. I'm a little bit out of frame, but oh well, the squash is the star here. Just by good sharp knife and working your way through slowly. Don't force it. When you force something and you're cooking, that is when you're going to hurt yourself. I'll say, these are hard. They're related to, well, pumpkins are related to these are related to pumpkins, but that is the inside. So once, even smells like a pumpkin. Now what we have to do is just scoop all these out. So, quick little cut while I go do that. So, we have our cleaned out squash. There's always going to be a seed or two left. What we want to do now is roast these. If you don't want to go through the step of, well, cutting a whole squash and cleaning it out, you can buy this cubed and frozen. What I would say you do then is thaw it out, lay it on some paper towel to drain some of that extra moisture out, and then you're still going to go basically to where I am now, whereas I have fry pan here, skillet with some melted butter. And this I find is the easiest way to coat something. It's hot. And that's just going to go onto a simple baking sheet that we have just there. We'll do the other half. Again, I find this way I just get a good even coat, and it's quick, it's easy, and well, I don't have to dirty up any more dishes. The other thing I want to do is just take a little bit more of that butter and into that cavity where all the seeds were. Just put a tablespoon or so of butter in there. Never have too much butter. So we have our squash, all nice. Where'd my cloth go? I've lost my cloth. And we just want to put a little bit of salt on there. This will help draw out a bit of the moisture, help to season everything too. And this is going to go into a 400 oven. There we go. Put that in there and forget about it. That's going to go in there for about half an hour, 45 minutes. You want it so it's fork tender. In other words, when you take a fork, you can put it in. There's a little bit of resistance, not a lot, but it goes in easily. Because what we're going to have to do is scoop out all that flesh, and that's going to go to the next step of what we're doing. Now what I have done, because I didn't melt up all that butter for no reason, we have 1 onion, just all roughly chopped because all this is going to go into the blender. We have 2 tablespoons of freshly cut ginger. If you can't find freshly cut ginger, or fresh ginger, or you just don't want to use it, you can use powdered ginger. Use about a tablespoon. It's not going to taste the same, but it'll get you close. And then we have 3 cloves of garlic, again, all just roughly chopped. So we are going to go moving. Sorry about that. I hope no one got too dizzy. So there we go. We moved everything around. Back on our fry pan. We have our butter slightly browned. No, I didn't burn it. It's supposed to be. And in there is just going to go our onion and our ginger. We don't want to add the garlic just yet because that will burn. And burnt garlic tastes horrible. So this, we really just want to cook up until it's softened. And we're just doing this while the squash is in the oven. There's no point waiting if we don't have to. Now, this soup can be totally vegetarian if you want, but I'm going to be using some low sodium chicken stock, and I do have here that I cooked just a little bit before, some crumbled bacon. It's going to add a little depth of flavor, some smokiness. It's going to bring some of the salt that we need as well. So that's going to just cook down for a little bit while we get to our next mystery ingredient. And that is just going to be some curry powder. A little bit different, I know, but the flavors all work really, really well together. Between the sweetness of the squash, the smokiness of the bacon, and everything. This is kind of a necessary ingredient. And I am just adding in about a teaspoon for now. It really doesn't take a lot. It's not going to make this taste like Indian food or anything like that. So don't worry, it's not a spicy soup. But it is going to bring a ton of flavor that is needed, that really goes well with this soup. The other reason I want to get it in there now is it just helps to cook in those flavors, to bring out the oils from the different spices they use in a curry powder. And plus, right now, it just smells so good. So this, we're just going to let cook and soften. We're going to wait for our butternut squash to come out of the oven, and then we'll come back and we'll go on to the next step. So we'll see you all shortly. Hey everyone. Well, I don't know if you might have caught a little morning there. Anyways, as you can see, our squash are out of the oven. We're in there for about 45 minutes because, like I said, these ones were really hard. And what we're just going to do is regular spoon, just start scooping out the flesh of the squash. You can still see it's nice and hot inside. Might want to wait for it to cool a little bit more, but I find it's just a little bit easier to do when it's warm. This is still, actually it's a little bit more than warm, it's still really hot. So we want to try and scrape as much of this out, but at the same time we don't want to get any of the skin in our soup, because no matter how long you cook that, it never tastes good. It never softens, and I don't care, you're just going to chew that forever. So there's all the flesh from one. Look, Normie's trying to say hello to everybody. He's standing at my feet, hoping I drop something. Sometimes I find just scraping along the bottom works really well to get it all out. You're never going to get 100% of it out, but try and get as much as you can. And that's that. We'll just put that aside. So we have our squash now in with our onion and ginger and that little bit of bacon. We did add the garlic. And just put the heat back on that very low. Next we add, like I say, 1 carton of reduced sodium chicken stock. Like I said, this is going to cook for a while now on the stove. And then what we're going to do once it's all come together, because this squash will break down even more as it cooks. But right now we're just trying to get all these flavors together. And the other thing we're going to add is some coconut milk. So this is going to give it that real nice little creaminess, a little bit of, like I say, that Asian inspired flavor. And it's just, it works so well with the curry and the sweetness of the squash, that smokiness of the bacon. They all start coming together now. So this we're just going to stir. I'm just going to let it simmer for half an hour maybe. After that, we'll adjust the seasoning, make sure all the flavors are okay. We'll add whatever we have to, and then we'll toss all this in the blender. So for now, we are just going to cover that, and we're done for this step. So we will see you all in about half an hour. Hello everyone, we are back. So you can see the soup is simmered, it's cooked down nicely, and I know a lot of you are thinking, well, why did you do it in a fry pan or a skillet? Whoa! Normie saying hi again. Normie. Okay, let's try this again. Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, our soup has simmered down. I did adjust the seasoning a little bit. I added a pinch more curry, a little bit of salt, and some pepper. And I know a lot of you are thinking, well, why did you cook this in a skillet? Well, it's very simple. It cooks faster this way. It was just easier to add everything right to this. And I thought, for a change, instead of putting everything in a blender, I'm just going to use my little stick blender. So we're just going to blend all this up. We want it smooth. You can serve it chunky if you wish. I just prefer a little bit smoother. So we're going to hit this with the stick. I'll mute the sound while this is going on, but then we'll see what it's all like. are. As you see, we're all nice and smooth now. I'll just get my spoon here. Nice. There are still a few little bits, which is fine. And of course, the bacon that's in there just got broken up a bit more. That didn't get pulverized to everything. And to give it one more little quick taste. It's really, really nice. But to just round out the flavor, just a touch, I'm just going to add a little bit of cooking cream. Very little bit. And not even half a cup. I'm just going to stir that in. The fat that's in the cream is going to blend with the oils in that curry powder. It's also going to thicken this up a little bit. And it's just going to add, of course, some more richness to everything. Once again, just give it a little taste. You can see how nice and thick that is. But when we go to the back of the spoon, we get a nice line. So we'll give it one more taste. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. So, we are just going to dish some of this up. We'll move our cans back. We'll show you the final product and, of course, the tasting. And there we are. So, we have our bowl of soup. I'll put a picture instead of trying to tilt the bowl. I'm just going to top it with a little bit of bacon, just because it's bacon. And this is going to be really hot, as you can tell by the steam. I'm sure a little bit of the bacon in there. Look how hot that is. And the sweet, it was really hot. Can get the sweetness right away from the butternut squash. That little taste of curry comes through. The coconut milk that we put in there is just beautiful. That's a nice little richness. The cream we added at the end, that helped too, but it also, like I said, drew out a lot of the flavors from the curry. And we get that nice little smoky, salty flavor from the bacon. A great soup. Simple to make. Takes a little bit of time, but all good soups do. We roasted the squash. We sauteed some vegetables. Bacon, you can put it in if you like or leave it out. I really recommend it because I find it adds so much to it. Cooking the curry powder in with the vegetables just to bring out the flavors more, to open them or to let them bloom. And just taking the time to slowly cook it, let everything come together, and you have a great soup that's perfect for any cold day. I'm sorry, I have to. Really, really good. Soup that's great for any cold day, special events. Like I say, Canadian Thanksgiving's coming up. I know this will be back on the menu, so I'll be making it again next week. So, there we go. A simple, easy recipe, not hard to make at all, but one that is just so good. And it's just that hug that everyone needs every once in a while. So until next time, my name is Andrew. I am the 5 p.m. chef. Thank you for stopping by my kitchen, and we'll see you all again next time.